open world survival game set in Africa 10 million years ago, where you start by playing the last common ancestors of all the big apes. Okay? And then you evolve and you try to survive this harsh environment.
You said the last common ancestor.
Yes.
Do you know the Latin for it?
There's no, it's kind of like the missing link.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay, so not like Homo habilis or like anything like that.
No, Homo habilis. It's Ancestors, the first volume, is before any Homo stuff.
Oh, okay.
Homo habilis, Homo erectus, is way before.
Okay.
So you start as the last common ancestor,
I like
and eventually you'll become different species.
Okay.
Okay. But it's a survival game without any inventory. Yeah. It's all about the main character. Yeah. Like you can combine stuff, but not through an inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, just like in my other games I did before, it's not about the HUD.
Right.
It's about being the character in the 3D environment. Because when I started Panache, my studio, I knew I needed.
You mean Panache Digital Games?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's the note you took.
That's the one. And now it's done. That's all the notes I have.
Exactly. No, but I knew we needed one game, and it's all about the main character in his 3D environment. And then while I was like starting to develop the game, I realized, because people told me, that I was the historical dude.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because
I understand,
yeah, because of Assassin's Creed, but even from Prince of Persia.
Right.
For some people, it's an historical game.
Right.
and said, well, where should I go? When should I go? And then I had a flash. So let's do prehistorical moment, because it'll be easier. I won't have to build a city. I will not have to build a crowd.
Right.
I will not have to build all the technology.
Right. Yeah.
So I will just have a character in a 3D environment around it.
Hold on. What are we seeing right now?
Oh, right now on screen, this is kind of like the tech tree of the character. You went into your brain, and it's the neuronal system of your character, and this is how you will eventually evolve into and develop your abilities.
I love this, because we were chatting backstage a little bit about immersion being something that both of us appreciate so much, and I love this because you found a way to make the UI somehow even more immersive. You're looking at the brain of the character.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But we didn't want to go into like it doesn't look like a brain, because that would have been weird.
Right, yeah.
So we tried to be a little bit more poetic with it. But see, this is like at the beginning, you're really that ape, because we're still big apes. That's what we are. So
yeah.
And so at first, it's all about swinging. I wanted to tell the story of us going down and eventually walk on two legs. This is for me the fantasy.
It seems so simple, but I'm absolutely enthralled by this.
Thank you.
Like, it's extremely clever, like the gene manipulation and how you make like the evolution happen, rather than like looking at like the benefits and minuses of like a skill tree. You look if you feel like a scientist.
A little bit, but I'll go even further, so you understand.
Go further.
The thing is, it's like it really depends on how you play. Every single player will have their own experience, because depending on the decision you're making, you evolve in a different way. So if you are really good at jumping around, your character can get better at it. If you're more into observation, you'll get the skills attached to this, and that's your own experience. If you want to become a hunter quicker, it will depend on you, because it's really, we're looking about what you're doing. We're like monitoring everything you do, and eventually you will unlock portion of the main character abilities. But what's important is that you're not actually playing one character through time.
I was just gonna, okay, go ahead.
You're playing as a clan. It's your lineage that needs to survive, not only one, because we go from 10 million years up to 2 million years.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Is there like okay.
That's the overall arc. That's like, and it doesn't take you millions of years to go through it.
Well, what? I mean, that would be a huge like.
There is systems to make the gap.
Yeah, there's a big gap between when you can play, when you start, and when you finish. Your like great grandson would have to finish the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Roughly.
Roughly, right?
Well, I don't know which computer, by the way.
Is there like a goal that you're given, like at the beginning, or do you just make your own goals?
You make your own goals. While I was like studying the subject matter, at first I was making that game a lot more linear, trying to go through the science of it all.
Sure.
But it was boring. Roughly.
Science is often boring.
Roughly, no, but it's because we know a little bit more than the characters. So anyway,
Right.
So instead we've built this huge map, which game world, which all the science is in there. But then I'm asking the player, hey, Homo sapiens, you think you're intelligent enough to survive like your ancestors did? And so we're not taking you by the hands whatsoever. There's no mini-map. So it's not about going from dots to dots.
There's no heads up, there's no HUD at all, it looks like.
Well, you can turn it on and off. This is me playing, so I don't need a HUD.
Oh,
I'm the best,
okay.
I'm the best Ancestors player on the planet right now, so I don't need it.
Man, but you're just like, you got your horn and you're just tooting it all over the place.
A little bit. But, but since we're on Twitch here, like it is, and I was telling you backstage that it is a game for Twitch because you can actually get better at it. There's skills involved, and every play sessions are different. So you can go and say, okay, what do we do today? What's the adventure we're going to live? Right? And if you're really good, like people will come and see you play. Because you can have style. There's like in the control scheme, there's a little bit of Tony Hawk in it. You have hair control, and you just like, and then you evolve at your own pace.
When you say, but like you say words like getting better, it's like getting better at life?
Yes.
At living?
But mostly getting better at decoding the game environment.
Okay.
Reading it, but also getting good with the character. In Prince of Persia, or when you were playing with Ezio, the character would decide a lot of things for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, running on walls in Sands of Time, you were as good as me. There was no, like, you had to go through the motion. Here, it's really, you can know all the subtleties of the main character, and really, just like when you play a sports game.
Sure.
You know, we can all play FIFA, and then there's players that are really good at FIFA. It's the same game. Well,
yeah,
we have this in Ancestors, even though it's an action-adventure game, open world, and everything.
It's like people understand games, like the game that you are playing differently than you do. Like they're that much better, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then me, it's unfair, because I see the Matrix right now, but it's true. Like, I understand it all, I read it all, I look at the screen, it's like, you should do this and that. But even if you know,
now what you
can create moments that are unique. Like the other day, I killed a leopard.
Okay.
While the sun was rising, you know, in the horizon, and I knew, and there was a cliff, and the shot was perfect. And I said, oh, I created that. I'm the only one. And even.
So in Ancestors, you have to explore, expand, and evolve. You have to explore your environment, expand your clan, to eventually evolve into a new species. You're not one ancestors, you're not the hero of the entire human race, you're a clan. It's about your clan, a family. That lineage needs to go through time and eventually evolve into another species. So you can play as a baby, right? You can play as an adult, you can play as an elder. You're controlling one character inside a clan. And your clan is what needs to survive. So you need to find what we call outsiders. So there is some other clan members that are lost, if you will, and you need to help them out. So if they're like hungry, thirsty, if they have like, if they're poisoned, you can bring them the antidote, and they'll say, oh, thank you, buddy, I'm joining your clan. You can mate, have babies, and continue the species. At first, the jungle is your known and secure and paradise environment. At the same time, you cannot stay there for too long because resources will deplete, your clan will eat, and eventually there won't be anything to eat. And since you need to eat, drink, and sleep in order to survive, eventually your clan member will die out of starvation if you don't move. And so I'll go back, and then we'll explore together as a clan. Fear is really an important feature of the game. We feel fear as soon as you're a baby and you're far away from your clan. But also when you go into unknown territories, and this is done through a system of dopamine. If you have enough dopamine, you can go through your fear. Now I got two choices. I can go back, stay in my little paradise, or I can say, no, let's be curious and see what's on the other side of this. And eventually, the more knowledge I know about this area, eventually I'll be able to go further and claim this territory and conquer my fear. It's rolling. 1, 2, 3, test. It's good for the sound. Let's do this. Ancestors is not about unfolding the mission we've put out there for you. It's you, your curiosity that is driving the show. Because in Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, there is no mini-map and there is no map at all. It was important for us that the player is actually, again, the one mapping, the one discovering, the one exploring, and not us helping through that journey, through that odyssey a lot. And you'll have to really actually go down into your instinct in order to play the game. The more you're curious and you test and you experiment, you'll see the game opening up for you. I get surprised by the game every single time I play because I'm trying new stuff. It's a game, there's still boundaries, right? But you can go pretty much anywhere you want. We've created a world for you, right? And then you're kind of like the co-creators of the experience. There's like, everything is kind of like there, and it's up to you to be curious and find what's in it. Each time I do an action, I'm asking some energy, and the more action I do quickly, eventually that energy is spent, and it will tap into the stamina of the character. You have to eat, drink, and sleep. Those are the three core elements for your survival. And once you sleep for at least 4 hours, we'll update your daily regimen, and you will gain back your stamina and your energy. Well, throughout the game, you'll have different encounters with dangers. And you can get attacked, they can attack each other, which is good for you, by the way. If you're being pursued by a leopard and then he sees an antelope, maybe the lunch of the leopard is the antelope and not you. And be careful on what you put in your mouth, I would say, in general. You may be poisoned. Water's kind of good in general, but food you never know. And you can die by falling. Be careful in some of the rivers. There's, you can slip, for example. So there's a lot of things that can kill you. But we will never give you the solution. It's up to you to experiment and eventually to go through bad times in order to have good times, I would say. And like Carl Sagan said, right? Extinction is the norm, survival is the exception. So you're gonna play really in an environment that wants to kill you. There's really dangers around every corner.